Hello everyone, Josh from Calibrating here with our PAX West focus games coverage for PAX West 2017. I am joined by...
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Hi Ryan, how are you?
I am living in existential crisis constantly, so about the same.
About the same, where it's not like we're recording back-to-back of these videos without break or much pause or anything. So yeah, this episode of Focus Games, I wanted to talk about another one of my favorite games of the show, and much like another one we've recorded, this was another game where I'm like, well, fuck, I guess this sounds like something I'll check out. And
you know what? Whatever game that you're wanting to talk about, I cut it. Let's not do that. Let's do something fresh. Let's do something on the fly, all right? I want something that reminds me of my childhood, growing up. At PAX West, did you happen to play any games that involved, trying to woo people, basically find the love of your life, make friends, level up any kind of skills you may have, and Satan also.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a tough one. Let's see. What could I have
Satan in there?
Well, have you heard of Monster Prom?
No, why don't you tell me all about it?
So Monster Prom is a really interesting game. So dating sims have kind of been a thing for a while now, but with the advent of Dream Daddy, a dad dating simulator, they've kind of taken the forefront of things. They've become a little more popular. It's become a little more trendy. It's not just the thing that you expect some weird random person to play. Not that there was anything wrong with playing them, but that was kind of the perception of them. So what we have here is Monster Prom, so here's a little description for you. There are only 3 weeks left until Monster Prom. Explore your wacky monster high school and go through all kinds of absurd and funny situations to raise your stats and seduce one of your classmates. So, first off, the game has really cool art. That was what ultimately Dream Daddy's kind of pulled me into liking these dating simulator kind of games a little bit. And they, in a weird way, are the next generation of point-and-click adventure games almost. They're like a subset of that kind of idea, and we know that's near and dear to my heart. So I decided to check it out based on that. Went into looking at the game with the art style, and then played it. The game is extraordinarily funny. If you play Dream Daddy and thought there was some really funny dad puns and stuff, this game's like a whole other level. Your goal, you play one of 4 characters. So I just pretty much color-coded. And your goal is to woo, as you said, one of the characters, which fit some classic stereotypes, except you have the jock werewolf, or you have the rich kid demon, or the nerdy vampire.
I mean, those are stereotypes all of themselves.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. You have the chick who's Frankenstein's monster, essentially. Let's see here. You have the Gorgon, that's all the pretty the pretty stuck up kind of girl, and then a ghost who's a prankster kind of thing. So it's if it's stereotypes both in the monster realm and in the high school realm combined. Yeah.
Well, everybody knows that Gorgons are the mean girls of the afterlife. I mean, that's common knowledge.
It's a well-known thing. It's a well-known aspect of the game. So you might think to yourself, well, what is it about a dating sim that would make it into your best games of show, right? That's the question that people, I could only assume, would be asking. Simply put, there's 2 ways we play. I feel like most people play dating games. You're either playing them by yourself, you have a glass of wine, a beer, whatever you're drinking, and you're just sipping away, playing your game, right? The other way is you and your friends are probably also drinking, and you are just laughing your ass off at the wacky situations and stuff like that. So this game, the developers thought to themselves, well, what can we do about that? So what they did is they made a 4-player competitive cooperative dating sim.
How is that possible?
So the way the game works is it's pass and play. Each person takes their turn. The way the game is structured is in your morning, you choose the location you're going to explore, the classrooms, the bathroom, study hall, those kind of places. And what can happen in those situations is you'll get a little vignette story cutscene, and that cutscene will then either boost your stats based on your choices or help you to woo one of your classmates. You get a feel of where people may be, stuff like that. In the afternoon, you choose a lunch table. There's about, I think, 6 to 7 tables, and there's up to 4 characters. So the thing is, you can only visit one location once each. So if you're playing multiplayer, you pass the controller, and whoever went in first place has chosen that location. You can't go there. So what the game does is at the end of every turn being a section of the day, you are given the opportunity to either choose the same play order if you just want to get through things quickly, randomize it if you also want to get through quickly, but still have another person get a chance to go first, or my preferred method, which was the challenge. The challenge mode is you're asked a question. Your whole team is asked a question. The question in my case with the developer was something like, who's your favorite celebrity? And he said Miyamoto. I think I said Keanu Reeves. And then once everyone's confirmed, it asks you the question. The question in this case being, who do you want to lead you in a zombie apocalypse? So everyone debates, discusses. It could, that could take 10 seconds or an hour right there. And then you choose. That essentially chooses who's first player, second player, third player, fourth player for the next turn. So it kind of rotates things out. And yeah, so that's how multiplayer works. It's very simple, very pass and play. They also have a desire to make a Twitch plays thing, so a fourth player can be your Twitch chat for streaming purposes, which I think would be cool. Really freaking neat.
So if it's multiplayer like that. I'm assuming you can do cooperative or consider competitive. So would it be possible to, let's say we both want some of that teenage werewolf Red Rocket? Can we all attempt to jump on that, or is it the same sort of thing where I'm going to the lunchroom, no one can go to the lunchroom. I want werewolf penis. No one else can have werewolf penis. Basically is we both know we want werewolf penis.
Yeah.
How does this work?
No, so yeah, it's totally cooperative or totally competitive. You can choose how you want it, how you want to play it. So you can play cooperatively where you're all just going after your own people and may the best monster win kind of thing. Or you can play competitively where every person, all 1 to 4 players are going after werewolf dick. And it's whoever wins out, you're not going after everyone else, so one person ends up potentially at prom with him, while the rest of the people are, dateless, because they all pursue the same person. So,
much like real life.
So yeah, what I like about this game a lot with the multiplayer aspect is you can set up challenges. You can play your first couple of playthroughs where you're just playing the game, right? You're just going through the motions of a dating sim, experiencing the world, learning stuff about it. But then you can do those playthroughs where you're like, okay, you could do 2v2 teams or team where you're going again after the same person. You could do things. It's all obviously rules you're setting, but you could set fun little rules and challenges for yourself. Because then it's a dating sim, so the game's only about 1 to 2 hours to play, so it has a lot of versatility.
Yeah, I'm assuming it has a lot of different endings, and I'm sure there's super secret stuff where you have to do certain things and meet certain criteria in order to get them. Is that accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's first talk about the situations of it. So you'll get into these situations where you're asked a question by people. You have stats in the game from charm to intelligence to strength. Your standard kind of stuff that would be important in a high school setting. So you're given a situation where you choose between option 1, option 2, and those choices happen if you are over a certain threshold. So so you can choose essentially. It's not obvious to you, but this challenge is to lift something heavy, is what it is. So obviously that's a strength challenge. Then option 2 is something to talk your way out of a situation, a charm challenge. So essentially your goal would be to choose your higher skill that you hope meets the required threshold. So you can get more points with people, more ability to gain stats, because otherwise you will lose points in stats. So with that, you might get in a situation where we're well, what happens if I keep losing stats and I end up with just all 1 points? Then I can't complete the game. What they're doing with the game is they still want to be fun. So if neither one of your skills reach the threshold, then whichever one is the higher of the two is the better choice kind of situation. So they're going to still make it completable.
Cool. Is there an insecurity stat? Because I want to try and make this as true to life as possible.
I think that would probably just be charm being low. kind of situation. I would imagine, but
don't look at his charm being low. Look at it as insecurity being high, because
okay.
This isn't golf. You need high stats.
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough, sir. So the way the game is structured is you have all these different situations. So just to run it down, there's over 300 different events in the game, because you might be thinking to yourself, well, it's an hour to 2 hours of gameplay. How much am I actually going to see? So there's 300 events. Each one has 4 different outcomes. So you end up with, like, I think they said somewhere around like 1,100 or so possible specific situations, which then lead to other situations. In an average playthrough, if you're playing single player, you're going to see, like, I think it was like 16 or so, somewhere around that, they said. So multiply that by 4, and that's how many you see in a multiplayer thing. So you're seeing a few hundred situations in a 4-player game that you are not going to. So it could take you a while, particularly then when you talk about all the different kind of stuff on layering on itself. And then you mentioned secret endings. There are cases where, like, there's a store in the game that have all of these different, like, irreverent, ridiculous, wacky items and stuff like that. And some of them are references to other games. Some of them are references to other things, and some of them would just add stats and things like that. So there are cases where where one of the characters wants to do a blood ritual, for instance. So they ask you for the blood of someone. Well, there's an item in the shop that is a used tampon.
Oh, nice.
Horrifying, in a way. But I mean, there's like different stuff like that. It doesn't explicitly tell you, so you'll figure out you need something, but you have to figure out then what you get. All of your choices matter that lead to different things, and in other cool stuff, you can end up with situations where you actually make other characters end up together and stuff like that. And I believe there's like secret endings of like threesomes and stuff like that as well for those who are interested. So there's a lot of versatility to this game and a lot of openness for what you can do.
I really want there to be a secret ending where it's just like everybody gets together and it's like a big monster high school orgy.
I did ask about that, and I got a sly wink, so I don't really know what that's going to end up being. So, and then the best thing about the game, as I said, it's really funny. They refer to it as like postmodern humor. It was just a really enjoyable, fun experience, and it explores like the fluidity of gender and sexuality and stuff like that as well, which is really neat.
Cool. I've got a boner for it already, or it may just be rigor mortis setting in.
Indeed. So the game is coming to PC, Mac, Linux, Steam. I believe the expected release is early to mid-October, just in time for Halloween. So I think we finally got our spooky game for Halloween to play. Oh, and local only for co-op. I think they have a desire for online, but the goal is just local for now. So expect Constant Calibrating to probably film some ridiculous shit in this, because I'm excited for it and I can't stop talking about it. Again, a lot of these games you never knew I'd be into, but thank you everyone for joining us for this look at Monster Prom from Beautiful Glitch. Make sure to check that out later this fall. With that, I bid you good sign off.
Werewolf Dick. Sorry, I had to get one more in there.
Good old Red Rocket. Hey, Red Rocket sign off.
Red Rocket Man. Stopping?